Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So if you are new here, my name is Lexie. Welcome to my channel. So I'm excited to record today's video because it's going to require me to do some good reflecting, which I always love. I think that's important to do for anybody out there. But this was a requested topic from one of you guys that actually commented on my last video. Shout out to Megan, who asked me to do a video kind of talking about like what I have done differently this time around in my prep that's made it better, right? Because I would say one of the cool things about being a competitor, like ideally each prep that you do for a show, like each prep you do should progressively get better, right? Because you learn more every time you do one. So like I did my prep in 2021 and then I did a prep before that, but like progressively every prep should get better because of everything you've learned from past preps, right? And I would arguably say this has been my best prep so far. You know, I know that like we won't talk about like all the, well, we can, but like, you know, all the thyroid issues I had at the beginning of my prep because of my gut issues, like of course that was not fun, but overall, all things aside, taking that out of the equation, this has been a really awesome prep. I honestly feel the healthiest I've ever felt, which I'll talk about that in a sec and why I think that is, because it's ironically, this is like the most aggressive I've ever had to get in prep with my calories and with my cardio, but ironically, I feel the healthiest. So I'm going to talk about that in a sec, but basically, this is a video just for me to talk about like everything I've done this prep that has made it better and that's helped me to have a more successful prep. And I've got some exciting news I'm going to share with you guys, so stay tuned for that because we've got some exciting things on the horizon. Your girl may or may have not chosen her show. So you guys will be taken along for the journey. So stay tuned for more information on that. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, it would really help the growth of my channel if you shared it, gave it a thumbs up, commented below. But without further ado, let's get to it. All right, you guys, now let's cut to the chase. So I've got a list to the side of me that I kind of just sat down and reflected and made. And again, I told you guys this was a requested topic. So I'm hoping that this video is really helpful and just insightful to new competitors, current competitors. I'm just speaking kind of on my experience and what's worked really well for me in the past, what hasn't worked really well, and ultimately what's made this prep of mine probably the best prep that I have had thus far. So let's get to it. So got a list to my side. So I would say one of the biggest things is I mentioned earlier that I just feel healthier. And I think that it's ironic because like essentially I'm eating lower than I had to get in my last prep. I'm eating the lowest amount I've ever had to get for prep. So you would think like, how do you feel healthier? But I think that it's strictly just because I have more muscle this time around. And that's very common to see. Like newer competitors, when they don't have as much muscle, you have to just get very tiny to get stage lean, right? You have to like pretty much scrape away lots of body fat and reveal the little muscle that you have, which can sometimes make you look really tiny. And I know that there were many times last prep in 2021, so 2 years ago, that I went into the gym and I just felt like a little string bean. And like I just felt like sometimes I would cover up because I would feel like, oh my God, I don't want people to look at me and think like I have an issue. But I don't feel like that this time around. I mean, yes, I'm small, but I don't feel like so small to the point where I'm like too tiny, like where it feels unhealthy. Like I still feel just good. I don't feel like I'm like withering away to nothing. So that's the first thing. I think just having more muscle has made this prep so much more enjoyable, you know, to the point where I'm almost stage lean and I still feel somewhat healthy. Obviously I don't want to live stage lean, like live this lean year round, but I don't feel as just tiny as I did last time around. So that's a really big thing. A second thing that I think has helped me to just kind of have more of an enjoyable prep this time around is not necessarily having a specific show date. Now, this can have its pros and its cons. Some competitors really do need to set a show date for themselves and like work towards that show date because otherwise they may just get kind of complacent and too comfortable. But for me, personally, the approach I like to take is I don't like to set a show date for myself. I more so like to just get close to being stage lean and then figure out, okay, what shows are near, like what shows are around me, what shows are within the next month that I could potentially do. And it just takes off some stress, in my opinion, for me. And that's just a matter of like me knowing the type of person I am personally, and knowing that if I had like a hard show date from the get-go, like 20 weeks out, I probably would stress myself out over that. So that's why I've waited so long to tell you guys what my first show is going to be, because quite honestly, I didn't make the decision until yesterday, which I'm going to share that in my next video. So that's been a game changer for me. I know I have some clients that I'm also taking that approach with, where, you know, if they have, let's say they live in an area where there's a lot of shows to choose from year round, what we'll do is we'll just start prep, and we won't start prep with like an actual show date. We'll just start once they get closer to being stage lean, then we'll pick their show, and it can just kind of ease a little bit of that stress off of your plate as a competitor. So that's number 2. Number 3 is kind of funny, because if you guys go back and watch my like old prep videos from 2021, I feel like I was really notorious for having all these little like hacks. And although I don't think they were bad at all, and I still don't think they are, I just feel like this prep, I've had a lot different of an approach, in a sense of I'm not trying to like hack the system, and I'm not trying to load all of my food up with a ton of volume. Like if you guys knew me back in 2021, you knew I did the zucchini oats, the zucchini in my oatmeal, because it added volume, helped to make me full. I haven't done it once this prep. Not that anything is bad with it at all. I just have kind of tried to embrace being hungry a little bit more, realizing that like it's okay to be hungry on prep. I don't need to try to like add volume to absolutely everything. And in fact, it just has helped me to feel tighter too. Like I don't feel like I'm always just carrying like a chronic food baby and whatnot. Like I actually like feel like I have pretty good abs right now, if you can see them in the camera. And it's midway through the day, and I have a lot of food and like a lot of, well, not a lot, but a decent amount of food and water in my system. So that's been a game changer, is just not trying to like hack the system and not trying to overload all of my food with volume. And again, there's nothing wrong with like eating volume in prep. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do, but I've just found that realizing like, hey, Lexie, it's okay to be hungry. You don't need to put like a pound of zucchini in your oatmeal. That's just helped me like to just feel like, I'm gonna scoot back, I don't know if you can see, like I just feel so much tighter. And I'm not trying to like just show off my abs. I don't even know if you can see them in this lighting, but like by me not having so much food volume, I don't feel like I'm carrying a food baby all day, right? So that's a big game changer. Now, another huge game changer is I have gotten so much better with my posing. I can confidently say my posing from last time I competed is unrecognizable. And having more confidence in your posing, I think, really helps as a competitor. I have studied posing so much within the past year that I feel like, I don't say this to sound like cocky or anything, I just say like, I feel like I have a really good understanding of how to pose correctly now. I understand the point of posing. I understand that like how posing has to be different for everybody's physique, mine included. So I've learned what my imbalances are, what my weaknesses are in my physique, and I really worked on tailoring my posing to make sure that we hide those as much as I can and accentuate my strong points, and just really helping with fitting the bikini mold. So posing has been a game changer. I feel like if you are a competitor watching and you don't take posing seriously, like let this be your sign. Look for a posing coach, or you know, just get a little bit more serious with it. And I can help with posing on a case-by-case basis. If you are not my client, you are interested, just shoot me a DM and we can always set something up. But posing has been something that I feel like has really just flourished for me, and gets me really excited for stepping on stage, because now that I feel like I'm actually posing correctly for my physique. So for example, like I have a very long torso, and like genetically I can't do anything about that, you know? So therefore I have to kind of tweak and tailor my posing to make sure that my long torso isn't like the star of the show on stage. So that's something that's changed as well. Something else that has really, really helped me this prep is just realizing, like I think I've always known this, but realizing that I don't see myself objectively, that I view myself with severe goggles. Therefore, I'll take my pictures and I'm not like, I try not to like over fixate on them, and like I try not to always like walk past a mirror, like ab check or mirror check either, because I realize that the way I look at myself is very, very subjectively, right? So therefore, that's why I have a coach. Even as a coach, I have a coach, because it helps to have somebody to look at me with objective goggles, and not even goggles, but from an objective viewpoint, right? You know, could I prep myself? Yes, I probably could, but because like I know what to do, but implementing it on myself is so different. And so realizing that like I don't see myself objectively. I see myself with goggles, and I see myself very differently than I probably actually look, has allowed me to like find comfort. And if I take pictures one week and I don't like the way they look, I'm like, all right, Lexie, you're in your head, you've got really bad prep goggles, your goggles are really fuzzy, as I always say. So that's something that's really helped me to not like have as many bad body image days, is just realizing that, and you know, knowing when to call myself out. If I'm like really looking at myself and like looking at my pictures and being negative towards them, I always tell myself, all right, you've got really foggy goggles right now and you're not seeing yourself correctly. So that's been a game changer as well. I also feel like, so I have two more main things that I want to touch on. I think actually three things. I have gotten a lot better at just taking my supplements more routinely. And when I say supplements, I've just like, I feel like I haven't been skimping on them. Like sometimes in the past, like past preps, like my first prep, I don't even think I even took any supplements. I know, it's kind of crazy. But I feel like I've just gotten better at like being more routine with my health supplements. So that's been a big part of like what's changed and what's made this prep a lot better. And then the last two things are going to be, this one's really, really important. I feel like I have structured a lot more like downtime during this prep, in a sense of I'm not always trying to say yes to everything, you know, and I'm not trying to overspread myself. Like I'm being okay with having, like Saturdays are my days where I try not to like overcommit myself. Saturdays are the days I don't do client check-ins. I have a rest day, and so I do try to just relax and be okay with it. And I think that's been really helpful for me in this prep, because having that one full down day really allows me to like feel rejuvenated to go for the next 6 days. So that's been a really big game changer too. And then last but not least, this has been so helpful, is I feel like I had it a little bit in my last prep and I did not have it at all in my first prep, would just be having a really strong support system. You know, competing, I know it's really, really hard sometimes for our family to understand, and sometimes it's even hard for our close friends to understand. But I do think it's so important not to just do this, you know, not to just do it alone, not to just isolate yourself. I feel like it's super important to have people you can talk to about your prep. I have like my best friend Denitra, shout out to Denitra, who I maybe will watch this. She's a bikini pro, and we are prepping at the same time, and we literally text every day and check up on each other, and it's just so nice to have somebody you can talk to. And I have other friends as well that like I talk to all the time about prep, and Denitra just comes to mind because like we're both in prep at the same time and we just text all the time. So but I think it's so important to have a good support system. And if you're watching this and you know you do feel isolated and you do feel like you just don't have anybody to, you know, to talk to or to share your prep with, like reach out to me. I'm always happy to be a listening ear. But I think whether it's an in-person, like personal connection, personal friendship, or a virtual connection, like Denitra doesn't even live in the same state as me, but we just text, and like there's always text, there's always FaceTime. I think having the support is so important. It really is. It makes the process so much more enjoyable. I can tell you in my first prep I ever did, I did not have a support system. I did not have any friends who like prepped. My family didn't support me. And now that I have more of a support system, you know, I just feel like more excited about the process because I feel like other people are rooting for me now too. So those are all of the things that I think have really been such a game changer for this prep. So I hope that you guys kind of maybe learned something or can implement some of those tidbits into your preps. I also think another thing that's really helped me, one last thing too that's on my mind, is just like realizing that everything will work itself out and everything will happen for a reason. I know I have given this prep my 110%. It's been a really testing and trying prep for many reasons, as many of you guys know from like my early on videos this year. But I know that I've been doing everything I need to be doing and that I have the power of doing. So therefore, whatever happens on stage, it's gonna happen for a reason. You know, I've controlled everything I can, and I'm excited to get on stage for the first time. So yeah, so we'll see what happens. But I'll wrap up this video in a sec because I want to share a couple of exciting things with you guys. So thank you for watching through this portion. And if you resonated with any of these, I would love to hear which one resonated with you most. And if you guys have any tidbits of like things that you've learned from past preps, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear those as well. What's up, you guys? So it is me again. I wanted to actually close out this video. I'm in my car, just got home from the gym. And I wanted to just preface one more thing that I forgot to mention in the clip before. One of the things, and I will be blatantly honest with you guys, in the past, one of the things I've been guilty of doing, and like I said, I'm going to be like completely honest with you guys because this is never a good thing. But you know, obviously as a coach and a competitor, and specifically like as a coach, right, I'm always, you know, watching the sport, always watching shows, always, you know, seeing what other people are bringing to the stage just so I can learn, right? But with that sometimes comes a little bit of comparison. I'm not gonna lie. And so one of the things I've been really striving to do this season and this prep, and I think it makes such a big difference when it comes down to just how like enjoyable the prep is not comparing yourself to other people that you see on social media, because at the end of the day, that is self-induced stress. And I've told my clients this before, you know, some of my clients will get in their head and I say, hey, like if you're going to compare yourself to other people on social media, that's self-induced stress, right? Nobody is putting that on you but yourself. And the thing is, you know, I've been guilty of it before too, and I've really been making a conscious effort not to do it this prep, not to, you know, try to find other competitors who are going to be at my show. Like that doesn't do anything. And I think one thing we have to realize is that, you know, Instagram is such a highlight reel. There, you know, lighting can really make somebody look damn good. You know, and also like just because a competitor looks really great in their Instagram pictures, who knows what they're going to look like on show day, right? Who knows what their full package is going to look like? Who knows what their posing is going to be like? Who knows if they're even going to bring something that the judges want, you know? So I forgot to mention that before, but do not play the comparison game. As they always say, the comparison is the thief of joy, and it's so true. But I wanted to close out this video. I'm just so excited because you guys, I was, when I was lifting, I was so excited because I was just thinking about my show and getting together all the little details for that, because it's going to be awesome. It's definitely a show I never had on my radar getting into this year. We'll put it that way. So I'm going to leave you guys hanging. Not for too long, though. I promise I won't be annoying like that. Tune into my next prep vlog, and I will announce the show that I'm doing. Part of me was like, should I keep it quiet, you know, just to kind of take the stress off of me? But, you know, I've taken you guys along for like my whole prep so far. So I'm like, why would I keep this from you guys? Seriously. So like, anyways, I'm going to wrap up this video here. Next prep vlog, I will announce what show I am doing. So I'm excited to share that with you guys and to take you guys along for that ride. It'll be a really fun show. So I'm excited. Everything always works out. And even though my season started off kind of, you know, not the best in a sense of I had to push a lot of my shows I had planned for, like I had to kind of get rid of those. This show, like I said, it was not on my radar before, but now it is, and I think it'll be really fun. So anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you guys in the next video.